Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Buki. If you're new here, hello, and if you're old, welcome back. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button down below. I would really appreciate it if you do, and thank you in advance. So in my previous video, which I'm going to be linking up here, I showed you guys how to draft a polo shirt on a pattern paper. However, while I was drafting, I realized it was a bit confusing when I was trying to explain the difference between a female and male placket. And my videos are for beginners, so I didn't want to confuse them. So if you don't know what a placket is, a placket is the opening that you have on a polo shirt. So if it's for a female, it opens towards the left, and if it's for a male, it opens towards the right. So I've decided to recreate the same video. However, I'll be drafting directly on a t-shirt fabric, so that way it's easier for people who are watching, especially for beginners. So without wasting your time, let's get to it. This is going to be a men's polo shirt. However, it can be tailored to anybody's size, and these are the measurements I'm going to be using. I'm going to be drafting both the back and front borders together, so I have folded my fabric twice. Don't worry, I'm going to explain this towards the end of the video, so make sure you watch it till the end. To begin, I'm going to draw a straight line, which is going to be my starting point. The first measurement I'll be marking is the neckline, which is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. This is a standard polo shirt neckline measurement. Now, depending on the neck measurement, it can either increase or decrease. And this is for the front panel. The back panel is 2.5 inches by 1 inch. So I'm going to mark the 1 inch and then use my pattern master to draw the curves. The next is the shoulder measurement, which is 17 inches. I'm going to divide this by 4, which will give me 8.5 inches. So I'm going to mark the point. I'm going to add my 1/2 inch sewing allowance, which is going to make it 9 inches. Because our shoulders are not straight, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. This is called the shoulder slope. For men's shirts, this slope can vary between 1 inch to 2 inches. Then I'm going to draw a straight line to join this to the neckline. The next measurement is the armhole. There are different ways to get this, but for this tutorial, I'm going to be using the shoulder measurement because it's a men's wear. So the shoulder measurement is 8.5 inches, so I'm going to mark that point. So the bust measurement is 40 inches. I'm going to divide this by 4, which gives me 10 inches. So I'm going to add my 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Then I'm going to mark this point and then draw a straight line. So in order for us to be able to curve the armhole, we're going to find the middle point. Once we do that, we're going to go in by 1 centimeter or 1/2 inch. And then we're going to use the pattern master to curve it out. So we're going to curve it from the shoulder point to the bust point. So while we're learning, can I please ask you to subscribe to my channel? If you haven't, I would really appreciate this, and it encourages me to make more videos for you guys. Thank you in advance. So the next measurement is the full length, which is 27 inches. Then I'm going to add 2 inches hemming allowance, making it 29 inches. So I'm going to mark this point. I'm going to mark it from the middle of my shoulders all the way down. So for the hip and hemline measurement, I'm going to use my bust measurement, which is 10 inches, but I'm going to -1 from the 10 inches, making it 9 inches. I'm also going to add my ½ inch sewing allowance. Now, I've already explained the logic behind us using the bust measurement for the hip measurement for men's t-shirt in my previous video, which I'm going to link up above and in the description box below. Please watch that so you can understand why we're using the same measurement for the bust. So once I mark that point, I'm going to draw a straight line from the bust to the full length. So the next step is inserting and drawing the polo placket. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky when it comes to men's polo shirt and women's polo shirt. So at the center front, we're going to measure down 5 inches. From that 5 inches point, you're going to measure ½ inch outwards. Once you do that, then you're going to draw a straight line from the neckline to the 5 inches point. Now, this particular placket is for men's polo shirt. So once we're done, we're going to cut out our fabric starting from the back neckline, which is the 1 inch point. Once we do that, we're going to take out the back panel, which is going to be the inner fabric. Then we're going to be left with the front panel. So I'm going to fold the front panel back in place so we can cut it. So the next step is for us to cut our front panel, which is going to start from the front neckline. So like I said before, this placket is for a male polo shirt. Now, if we were to draft a female polo shirt placket, we would have to flip the fabric over. And then you repeat the same steps by measuring the placket length, which is 5 inches and ½ inch wide. So it's exactly the same thing. We're just flipping it over. Now I'm going to open up the front panel and explain the difference between the male and female plackets. The placket line towards the left is for the male, so the neckline towards that placket is shorter. Once we cut this open, we would have to compensate for this. So a placket will be inserted to extend that neckline towards the center front, and the longer neckline would overlap the extended placket. This would automatically open the placket towards the right. The same applies to the placket line towards the right, which is for the female. Once we cut this placket line open and insert a placket, this would extend the shorter neckline towards the center front, while the longer neckline would overlap the placket. This would automatically open the placket towards the left. So I know it's quite confusing, but you need to practice to understand the logic. So once you fold the fabric, you have 2 layers of fabrics. So you have to cut the placket on the top layer. Please, it's on the top layer. Do not cut the 2 layers together. You have to open the fold and then cut the top layer. As you can see, once I've opened it, the neckline towards the placket is shorter than the other side. So if I had cut it on the other side, which is the female placket line, it would be the reverse. The neckline towards that placket line would be shorter. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you've learned the difference between the female and male placket. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't. You'll be supporting my channel if you do. If you have any questions, please put it down in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Until next time, have a good day.